kukara polonganda atutira aturuma ngatukonjithe okukara polonganda shitfa piti rumwe matuka eneno kuyeto mushithe uyeruke mondondo kuya ngatukonjithe kukara polonganda turitire modonjuari kane aturoro kuru momburuma maitupo inavya ngatukare polonganda rikane.
Good evening and welcome to Today on One. I'm Isai Sipunga. In the news tonight, One Africa Television celebrates local content producers, mixed feelings over COVID-19 vaccine, Swift 30 teaches SDG goals in a fun and interactive way, NTN calls on artists with disabilities for upcoming project, and Roundup, Comments Corner, Business on One, Sports and Weather. Now for the news in detail. Since increasing its locally produced Namibian shows from 4% in 2016 to 40% in 2021, One Africa Television recently celebrated local mania with independent content producers for 7 local shows airing this May on One Africa Television. Content manager Taleni Shimopileni said that these shows are not necessarily the only local shows airing on TV, but are the ones currently playing in the month of May beyond the in-house productions and other relevant external broadcast titles. Maggie Forciedo has more.
Namibia has not even begun to saturate the full talent and bring it to life. We have not yet even reached 10%. And the content is there, the talent is there, the passion is there. In fact, the one group that hasn't joined the WhatsApp group is the corporate entities, but the broadcasters are there. And so ourselves as broadcasters and with passionate content creators, we are coming together and we're making it happen, and the others will catch the fire and we will build. And so firstly, thank you. And secondly, please don't give up.
Ranging from music videos, documentaries, youth soccer, interviews with Namibian business and industry leaders, and requesting your favorite local music video, GOtv continues to celebrate local content. Partnering with GOtv, producers express their gratitude for the platform, how they have started, and the way forward.
It's not about the money. It's what I tell Kaleni. And sometimes you feel like giving up, especially when Isaac sends you a whole list of things that you now need to re-edit most. And not having the money to purchase the fastest machine. So you are waiting 2 hours to render a piece of an episode. Those things get frustrating at some point. But I think today, I'm proud to see, okay, we are getting somewhere. It's not about me. And every moment I get, I see Woven. There's a girl, her name is Woven, she's doing YouTube. I slide in a DM and I'm like, I think you need to go see Taleni from One Africa. Everything I see, I'm like, go to One Africa. Because it's already good enough content. I don't know what they're waiting for.
I have this idea. We have a couple of equipment, but we don't have the money. So he decided, I'm going to work with you and I believe in you for free. So we started working, and I also called a friend of mine, I think you will know Papa Lulu. So he came on board and we started working. And we worked from, I think, February to April doing Wonder Women. So we were calling people, of course there was this restriction, but it's indoor thing, you call one person, you sit, you have the whole thing. So we worked on that. So because somebody believed in the idea, I believed in my wife's idea, he believed in my idea, we started coming together and work. And after we're done, we came to Taleni, and One Africa says, okay, we got this. We are not that standard, but look at it and see what can come out of it.
You inspire our kids, and we've got 1,600 kids in the NTC for Youth Soccer League. 1,600 kids around Winter. All different backgrounds, from the suburbs to it's not even township, basically to the informal settlements, Havana, Horiankap, etc., etc. And it's youth from the ages between 9 and 19 years old. Why inspire One Africa? So mostly we play on Fridays and Saturdays. So now on a Friday evening, some of these boys, 17 years old, the social ease within the communities on a Friday evening, you know that every second house is a bar and a shebeen, etc., etc. So now these guys have a choice where the cool guys in the location are saying, except ons gaan drink paar biere. Do I go to the shebeen or do I go home and rest, because tomorrow we're going to play soccer?
The Royal Hustlers was also started about 2 years ago on 99 FM, and it's on our breakfast show. And we started bringing in the leaders in business and in other industries to come tell their stories. Because you guys know as well as we do that we learn through storytelling. And I hear someone else's hustle and how they moved from being a kid in the dusty streets of the townships to moving up and being the CEO of a company, and all the energy and effort that it took for them to get there, and that motivates me.
We live in an extraordinary country with incredible stories, and it's stories that cannot be held to our own, and it's something we would love to share. So the whole point of our campaign was to make sure that everyone around the world knew that Namibia is still a great destination to visit and come listen to all the stories that we have to share. And beyond going with this campaign, we were lucky enough to have One Africa allow us the opportunity to share these stories with our local people as well.
Shimapileni stated that the Namibian creative industry is a very important stakeholder in the Tribe Fire Studios' dream for positive change in Namibia.
Although there are thousands of people lining up for the coronavirus vaccine, some locals still remain doubtful due to a lack of information. Several people, mostly the youth, still have mixed feelings about the coronavirus vaccine. Some say they are afraid of mutating.
I haven't taken any vaccine so far, and I'm not going to take anything. So that's my answer.
Reason why? Like what?
Just because of the people are saying there's mutation and stuff like that. That's all.
Okay, the reason I did not take the vaccine is because I don't have lots of knowledge about the vaccine.
Ek het gesien dit werkie, so ek is nie seker oor dit nie, maar ek hoop maar ons land gaan dit reg kry om vir ons gesond te maak, want dit gaan ons lewe net weer beter maak, man. So ek hoop die president daarbo gaan net harder werk, man, en ek support hom en alles wat hy doen, man, sien jy. So ek hoop man dat ons gaan gesond raak en die battle net na fight.
Some took the vaccine and did not like the side effects. They, however, encourage other locals to get it.
Sure, that vaccine is really something, it's different. Like the first night that you take it, the side effects somewhat burns a bit also. And then there's a little nausea, you vomit a bit, but I don't know, it's for the greater good. So good luck guys and get your vaccine.
I mean, like, beggars can be choosers. We have no choice but to accept whatever is over to us. So what is my when am I gonna get vaccinated? Anytime soon, depends. But as of this moment, I'm very, very busy. So.
At the launch of this year's Africa Vaccination Week, Health Minister Kalumbi Shangula said for the country to return to normal, as many Namibians as possible need to get vaccinated. So far, over 40,000 Namibians took the coronavirus vaccine, and more than 2,000 of them are fully vaccinated. Amongst these are government officials, political leaders, artists, journalists, and even prisoners. The Sustainable Development Goals edition of Swift 30, a locally made board game that teaches the UN's 17 sustainability goals in a fun and interactive way, was launched in the capital. Hendrina Canyolo has this report.
I have to say that I myself really enjoyed the game. I think we were two at the table. I think the little ones sort of just moved away from it, but I think they'll have a chance to learn properly from it when they get older and as the attention span works. But I think this is a great chance to learn something not only for children but for adults as well. And I just think it's something you can enjoy, learn in a fun way.
The game, commissioned by the United Nations Information Center in partnership with the Office of the Resident Coordinator and produced in collaboration with Ms. Ndeshi Fikameni and her company Afroprint, is a landmark initiative that brings the SDGs into the hands of the youth to teach and educate them on Namibia and how they can positively impact our future.
It's been such an exciting journey for us at Afroprint. It's such a great step. We're moving forward in terms of saving the world by educating people in this game, teaching everyone about climate change and their roles they need to play. So yes, it's not only about playing but also being educated. So it's a really fun way of learning when you engage in activities like this.
According to the UN Resident Coordinator to Namibia, the game is a good initiative even for the elders, as it serves as a teaching tool for teachers, and everyone worldwide can use this to think outside the box and learn what is happening in other countries.
For many years ago, I still remember when I was a young kid at your age, we were playing similar games like lions, tigers, wolves, who should eat which one, and we'll move forward. But this game is quite imaginative, it's very informative and very important, because it's not only a game for fun, but also a game for knowledge, because the UN Sustainable Development Goals are related to all of us, all country, all people, whether grown up or young students or kids, because we are living in a world which is close interrelated, and we want to have our planet to be green, to be sustainable.
The Deputy Minister of Education, Arts and Culture applauded the United Nations and Afroprint for the initiative in creating this game that will create awareness around the SDGs, which can benefit many school children in enhancing their knowledge and serve as an educational tool.
The National Theatre of Namibia, in partnership with the Namibian National Association of the Deaf, has issued an open call to all artists with disabilities to showcase their creative talents for an upcoming project that uses the creative and performing arts to raise awareness amongst the general public on the rights and capabilities of persons with disabilities in Namibia. Joseph Ilonga has this report.
Although the government has introduced policies and legislations such as the Affirmative Action Act and the National Disability Council Act to empower and include people with disabilities in the national developmental agendas, they are still one of the most marginalized groups in the country, with the northern regions recording the highest number of persons with disabilities by region. To find out more about the latest project facilitated by the NTN in partnership with the Namibian National Association of the Deaf, Today on One spoke to Desiree Mentor, the public relations officer at the NTN, to find out more about the upcoming project, which aims to raise awareness of the capabilities and contributions of people with disabilities in the creative sector.
The NTN found this very important to collaborate with the Association of the Deaf. Actually, I'm very fortunate that we are able to collaborate with this association to raise awareness for persons living with disabilities in Namibia. It is to combat stereotypes and prejudices of persons living with disabilities, and also to promote awareness of the capabilities and the contributions that persons with disabilities can contribute to the Performing Arts Center. And lastly, perhaps, and very critically, for representation of creatives with disabilities. So if you are interested in that, please get in touch with the NTN. You can visit our website at www.ntn.org.na, or also the Namibia National Association of the Deaf. They are, of course, located in Ondondo Street in Ogriankava. So you can get in contact with us if you are interested to showcase your talent, and this can be in poetry, in dance, in acting. It is definitely not limited to artists, to only the deaf community, but also any artist with disabilities in Namibia. If you are residing outside of Windhoek, there is also an opportunity for you to showcase, and from the showcase we will of course choose a few artists that is going to partake in this project.
According to Mentor, the project will have 2 phases, which include spoken word and dance, as well as a play. She further added that the performance works and productions will be recorded and showcased through online platforms.
The call out generally is to create a project. So this is in about 2 phases. So one will be more spoken word and dance based, and then there will be another that is that will be a dramatic piece that will also then, that these creatives will also then come up with. The public, of course, will have an opportunity to showcase that. It is sad that we are unable to still have live performances of people coming to the theatre and then witness this live. It would have been so nice, but unfortunately we are unable to do that due to the limited number of people that can gather. Nonetheless, there are digital platforms which enable us to even reach much broader audiences. So this will definitely be a project that will be recorded and then made available to the general public locally and internationally.
Interested artists with disabilities that are 18 years and older are requested to book for a showcase slot with the NTN or the Namibian Association of the Deaf before the 21st of May 2021, and should prepare a 1-minute showcase of their creative talents.
Namibia is bleeding. Women and children no longer feel safe in the land of their birth. This is not due to war, but due to gender-based violence perpetrated by mostly men. This call is to our fathers, brothers and sons to unite against gender-based violence. Let us come together and say a big no to gender-based violence. Together, we can build a safer and better society for all. My Namibia, my country, my pride.
In other leading stories, the Oshikoto Regional Governor, Honorable Penda Yenda Kolo, Telecom Namibia CEO Dr. Stanley Shanapinda, Powercom Board of Directors, management, staff, and various other dignitaries embarked on an Onamishu Tower site tour in the Ingodi constituency this morning. Powercom, a subsidiary of Telecom Namibia, is currently setting up the tower, which is expected to be completed by the end of May. The site visit highlights the completion of Project Onamishu. It's part of the tower rollout plan for the year 2020-2021 for Powercom to fulfill its mission to provide world-class communication that would enable connectivity to all industries for economic transformation. Telecom Namibia CEO Dr. Shanapinda said the COVID-19 outbreak placed many Namibian households under pressure, mostly those in remote areas. He says bridging the digital divide should therefore be prioritized. Under the Telecom Namibia group of companies strategic initiative called Operation Autumn Cleaning, the company plans to roll out more towers across Namibia in places like Onamishu. Chanapinda pleaded for assistance from traditional authorities and traditional leaders, city councils, town councils and village councils to help by fast-tracking access to land to construct mobile towers. The tower, which is expected to be complete in early June, will support entrepreneurs and SMEs in Onamishu to develop local digital ecosystems and leverage wider opportunities that comes with good quality connectivity. Similarly, Onamishu and the surrounding areas have 8 remote schools which can now be connected to 3G mobile broadband internet to promote an improved e-learning environment.
Great combo deal from Choppies! Choppies, great value for your money.
Joseph Shifeni is standing by for today's Business on One and economic indicators.
Welcome to Business on One. I'm Joseph Shifeni. The Minister of Finance Ipumbushimi has signed a $1.8 billion loan from Germany for financing development projects in the areas of water and climate infrastructure as well as agriculture. Minister Shimi said the funding is a clear demonstration of the Federal Republic of Germany's continued support towards Namibia's sustainable development efforts. The loan came directly from the KfW Development Bank and is part of a 2019 financial cooperation agreement between the two governments. Ipumbushimi assured the public that it is an interest-reduced loan.
This is a very welcome support from the Federal Republic of Germany. You know, Windhoek is a drought-prone area, and it's important that the city finds sufficient sources of water, and therefore one of the loans that is going to be given by KfW, which is of course the instrument which is a development bank of the Federal Republic of Germany, is going to on lend to development bank, so that the development bank can on lend to the city of Windhoek is in that area of water treatment plant, and also to find additional water sources. So that's one. The other aspect of the loan, which is again going to be given to the Development Bank of Namibia, is in the area of climate-related infrastructure. You know, if you want to borrow to put up a power in the renewable energy power plant in the area of solar energy, so that you can also get support through that loan portfolio. So those are the two aspects that are going to be intermediated through the Development Bank of Namibia.
About $900 million of the amount will go to the city of Windhoek's water infrastructure by extending the Gamam's wastewater treatment plant. A further $540 million will go to the Development Bank of Namibia for funding climate change-related projects, and the remaining $360 million will be provided to Agribank.
It is the result of a good deliberation, and I think everybody is now very curious to see also that the money is coming, and that it's implemented, and that it really affects and changes the lives of many Namibians. So that is, I think, our intention, and I have no hesitation to sign it as soon as possible in order to get that thing going. So that's why I'm here today, and also Gabriele Geyer, the head of the Development Cooperation Unit at the Embassy. So she works every day also for the bilateral cooperation, and I think she is as keen as I am that this thing is now going to be signed and implemented.
Jimmy further said that boosting financial support to small businesses in the agricultural sector will not only lead to employment opportunities but also ensuring food security. That's all we have for you. Join us again tomorrow for another edition of Business on One.
Are you a CMS member? With HospiCash 100, you can get up to 100,000 Namibian dollars cover with a 30,000 limit per event from as little as 100 Namibian dollars a month. We understand that being in hospital can be stressful. That is why with HospiCash 100, you can cover your non-medical expenses by receiving cash payouts when you are in hospital, so you can recover stress-free. Interested? SMS your name and HospiCash to 555 and we will call you back.
Now a look at Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from the hottest social media pages. Labour researcher Herbert Jauch, who is part of the Basic Income Grant Coalition of Namibia, an organization that implemented the first ever universal cash transfer pilot project of a basic income grant in the country, says that the government still seems to be confused about the concept of a basic income grant. His remarks follow the recent statement delivered by President during his State of the Nation address, where the President criticized the introduction of a basic income grant within the context of an unequal society such as Namibia. Ryan says it does not make sense for government to refuse giving money, but is willing to hand out food hampers. Dalila says the basic income grant is a good idea. Leslie says he is in full support of the initiative as it will benefit the poor. Melanie, however, says that only certain people are benefiting, while Junior state that it shows that government is against uplifting the living conditions of the Namibian people. That's all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day, only on Today on One.
Winter is here. Let's warm you up by giving you a chance to win one of 12 gas heaters and accessories or a grand prize of 50,000 Namibian dollars. To enter the Winter Warmers competition, simply buy any combination of 2 or more of the following participating brands: Baker's, Five Roses, Fresh Pack, Frisco, or Hug in a Mug, and SMS WINTER to 445. And remember to keep your till slip as proof of purchase. Promotions run from the 1st of May to the 31st of July. For more information and entry details, visit 99fm.com.na. T's and C's apply.
Charo Musiandaka is standing by for today's sports update.
Welcome to Sports on One. I'm Charo Musiandaka. As the first phase of the final round of the Transitional Namibia Premier Football League games were played this weekend, Today on One Sports Desk caught up with the league director at the Namibia Football Association to find out about the progress so far. Castro Olumbu has more on this.
League Director of the Namibia Premier Football League, Mabos Fries, expressed his satisfaction with how the first phase of the Transitional League played out. In an interview with Today on One Sports Desk, Fries also commended the travelling teams who participated in the league for their commitment during the first phase.
During the process, I can mention that it was a successful phase one of the competition. In the same way, I need to compliment and applaud the 4 teams from outside Windhoek, especially Julian Sporting Football Club, as well as Young Brazilians, Young African, and then also Blue Waters. These are the clubs that have been playing, have been traveling most of the time, especially those 4 of them. They never have the opportunity to play in the local stadiums. And I need to express my gratitude towards them, because if they didn't show the commitment, we couldn't go ahead to finalize our first phase. So I need to make it publicly that we really appreciate their commitment, their compromises they have made to ensure that we finalize our first round. In the past, you have 6 teams playing on one stadium. Now, who are the other people you want to give access to? So that was a challenge actually. Apart from it, it's also logistical wise, it became more expensive to start increasing your workforce and so on to cater for those 100 people. Yeah, so that's one thing we didn't even consider, to allow spectators into the stadiums. Everything depends on the announcement that will be made by the end of this month, so that we can also gear up to see that it can, because every club wants their supporters into the stadium. So we're waiting for the announcement coming from the government, how much will be allowed, and from there we'll take it from there and see how we can deal with it.
Despite the success of the first phase, the NPFL League Director has expressed mixed concerns over the pricing of the stadiums to host the matches.
I can't believe the excitement and the gratitude that goes with those, especially the people who are directly beneficiaries, is the players themselves, because all the players in the league are contracted. So they are paid by the clubs to play football. So that's one of the things that have been addressed. We can say that we have covered over 400 people. Then it's not ending there. Then you have the referees. Then you have your security guards. It is also part of the event. Then you have your medics. So, unfortunately, it's only the SMEs which are not allowed now to go into the stadium. And one thing that is very shocking is that the fees that we are paying for the stadiums, it's unacceptable as far as we are concerned, because we think that it's community stadiums, but the amounts, especially in the bigger cities, there we have been playing in Swakop. It's for the stadium that we are playing, in the pricing, it's so affordable and accessible for us to make use of. But Windhoek, in some field, it's very expensive.
In the first phase, Orlando Pirates FC under Woody Jacobs were the stars of the show as they won 5 out of 5 games, being the only team with a 100% winning record, followed by Young Brazilians in Group B. With a Chivarongo-based team, Mighty Gunners FC topping the highly contested Group A with 10 points, narrowly ahead of the Shandubala Boys Tigers, who has 9 points in 5 games. Here are the league's second phase groups, which will be divided into the gold, silver, and the bronze league format.
That's all we have for you today. Join us again tomorrow for Sports on One, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. Back to you, Isai.
Thank you, Chiro, for that update. Time now for the weather forecast. The interior will be sunny and warm to hot, but very hot in the Namib Desert. The coast will be sunny and hot, but but very hot over the central and north coast. The wind will be moderate easterly to southwesterly. Now let's have a look at the minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond. That's all we have for you tonight. Join us again tomorrow at 7 p.m. and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. From me, Isai Sipunga, and the rest of the Today on One team, it's good night.
I like rhinos. I like them very much. Future here in this area is depending on the tourism. The future generation, they can see and they can benefit from their own resources. Animals like rhinos, elephants, the big five, you benefit from them and it must be respected. You are not feeding the rhinos, you are not giving them order, so it's a free business. I take two of my sons, which was little bit 5 years old. They were young guys. So they asked me questions. Why are we here? Why are we sleeping here? I told them this is our resources and this is our future.
My first memory of going with my dad is that I learned new things. As I grow up as a man, I see an opportunity in it. So I decided to look for a job pertaining tourism. So that's when I was employed at Palembang. So I decided to go for tour guide studies. Because I grew up with the tourism industry, the wildlife, the rhinos and everything, to bring that experience to the tourists. You can see the hyena. The biggest change is I was employed, getting paid, and also I can now support my family.
cultural things is coming a long way. Even if you go to area like Tweefontein, area was a lot of paintings. You will see rhino engravings on the rocks. That is an indication that the interaction between human, especially the local communities and wildlife, is dating back. That intimacy relationship is coming for a long time.
We are right here now at Palambach, and Palambach is one of the big lodges in the heart of the desert. And as you can see, there is Jumbo standing behind me, which shows it's really a tourist area. We do have elephants, lions, but as you can see, the desert is the heart of the rhinos. This is the main breeding area of the rhinos, is what we found here in this desert.
It's the largest free-roaming population of black rhinos that you find outside national parks in the world. It's a population that communities in the northwest have taken responsibility themselves in managing this population with the structures that government has put in place, more specifically the establishment of conservancies.
These people, before independence, they took it upon themselves and decided that wildlife is our heritage, and through history we've been living with wildlife. And having wildlife in your area is like having a garden.
Because of all these animals, we've got the communities that benefit from all this wildlife, and it's like a triangle that fits into each other. And the communities looked after the wildlife doing their own thing, and the communities benefit.
So already there were this intergenerational relationship between mankind and wildlife, and that bond is what our people actually wanted to see it continuing.
Very few countries have the wildlife that Namibia has. What is also important is the policies that Namibia has put in place, which also involves communities to be engaged in the management of the wildlife species and also to benefit from the wildlife resources.
Turn conservation into a rural economy, turn conservation into endless opportunities that would actually cater for those young people that have nothing else to do.
If it was not for rhino economy and tourism in this area, it was really difficult for young people to get or find a job.
We are conservation engineers. We make conservation work in an unfenced area, and through that, we want to turn the wildlife into the rural economy that will benefit the rural communities.
So we can see now wildlife is doing very well, the lodges are doing well, and the community is also benefiting. So it takes all three together.
Devastating hit over coronavirus fears. Airline industry is facing its biggest threat to travel since 9/11.
Since March, when COVID-19 hit Namibia, things actually become very difficult. In the first place, all the lodges closed down because of COVID-19. With us, say the Rhino Trust, we had some donors cutting on their funding. And then we had, in the same time, a poaching case of 2 rhinos that was poaching. We had less boots on the ground, and poachers could actually see. Now it's our chance to go in and do something. So COVID-19 was tough on all of us. Ginger Morning, who is one of our trustees, actually came up with the idea of, why don't we ask you to go to buy some gold for us and make gold bars, and then we sell them for the rhino conservation.
I was fortunate enough to have a chance to have lunch with Clive Johnson, the CEO of B2 Gold in Vancouver, Canada. And I looked at Clive and I said, we've got rhinos, you've got gold, let's do something. Let's create a coin or a medallion or a bar using your resource to create a sustainable source of funding for rhino conservation for the future.
There was it. The gold was bought, the bar was made, and I think it was 31st of January that we launched the bars in Windhoek. And suddenly one morning I had an email from my office, from my finance person, saying, these people don't have salaries. So I said, oh, what now? So I picked up my phone and I phoned Mark Law. I said, Mark, I've got this problem. He said, but we've got the fund already ready for you. You just have to apply, put a proposal in.
1,000 ounces of gold can make an enormous difference to the livelihoods of the communities that live up there.
We are, in essence, providing income and providing a livelihood to the communities. In the absence of tourism, especially now with COVID-19, even prior to that, when we had such a bad drought, the communities became even more dependent on the natural economy.
The idea is to make this a fund that will last for the next 25, 30 years, or even longer. And a portion of that will be distributed immediately as needed. And in this case, the COVID-19 crisis necessitated us to distribute funds to pay salaries to help people in the field.
The proceeds of the sales from the gold bars will be going towards responsible NGOs. And we've identified Save the Rhino Trust as the key NGO. And IRDNC, one of the first organizations that was in the Northwest, integrated rural development and nature conservation, so that ultimately the funds go to the communities and various aspects of their war on poaching.
To be able to support those hardworking men and women that are always in the front line between the poachers and the rhinos.
If it was not for B2 Gold and the golden bars, I think by now we should have been in big trouble.
By extracting the gold, you reinvest it in other renewable resources.
The gold that's coming out from the ground is actually protecting the wildlife that's working on the ground, which is a very good symbol for the others.
I wish this was my bar. This is the 500 gram gold bar. So you'll see on this side you've got the Etindeka Mountains and you've got the mother rhino with her calf. And then on the reverse side we've got the serial number, you've got the Rand refinery stamp, which is very important. Anywhere in the world people will recognize the stamp and they will know that this bar contains 99.99% gold.
It is gorgeous.
We wanted to make a biggest contribution, and at Ballowwood we see that as a way of giving back to the community.
Okay, so there you'll see the 500 gram bar.
Very special.
Feel the weight. It's incredible.
This opportunity which presented itself is absolutely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
We're privileged to have this.
This is just absolutely gorgeous, and I think this showcase really what the project is all about.
It's from 24 karat Namibian gold.
I'm looking at these rhinos is put there like Miss World photogenic, I would say.
There are only 1,000 of these gold bars, rhino gold bars, in circulation.
As far as I'm aware, it's the largest single donation of any corporate to the conservation of biodiversity anywhere in Africa.
Therefore, we so much appreciate and would want to continue as a government to work with B2 Gold.
And the fact that it's happening here in Namibia is something that we can all be extremely proud about and very grateful to B2 Gold.
Thanks to having this literal pot of gold through the funding for the Rhino Gold Bar, we're able to step in now and make sure that those trackers are supported, and so are their families and their communities.
We make sure that people sustain their jobs going forward, and who doesn't want gold?
And the B2 Gold Rhino Gold Bar has come in at a really critical time now, particularly with tourism being closed off and those forms of revenue not coming in.
To say we have the biggest rhino population or black rhino population in the world, let it be for the rest of our lives. And it's that heritage that we have, it's our resource that we can all look after and protect.
It's our heritage. And it's also good that other people like B2 Gold are also seeing it that way.
It's actually a very nice link between the investor that buys this gold bar, the rhino tracker in the northwest of Namibia, and the black rhinos. It's an intergenerational thing. The rhino trackers teach their children how to track rhinos, their children get taught, and so it flows down.
This is something that I want my children to have, and that we leave a little bit of a B2 Gold legacy. And if I can be part of that as part of my family, I'd be very proud.
It can also become an inheritance for the generations of my own clan. My children, my grandchildren,
if we can bring that passion over to future generations and to hand that over to my children. And I hope that that same passion for conservation gets migrated over to my kids.
And what we've done together is create a sustainable source of funding that should outlive all of us.
You know, I think as far as B2 Gold is concerned, we couldn't have chosen a better target in which to put our efforts as far as the environmental and conservation pillar is concerned. And I want to stress there that the money that's going towards environment and conservation is actually going towards the people.
Rhino is for all of us, whether you are in Canada, whether you are in Vancouver, whether you are in the US. If you really want to see conservation at play with rural communities, I therefore humbly request each and everyone to join us on our Rhino tour and have a wonderful experience. This is what keeps rhinos on this planet.
I've done rhino trekking experience. It was just amazing walking in that landscape of the Kunene. And as we followed them, we could now find rhinos with the calf. We got the closest distance we could.
It's a warning sign.
And it was just amazing and lovely, something to experience that Namibia can offer. It's something that you have to do in your life.
Win free airtime with One Africa TV. Share your comments on the channel. WhatsApp your feedback, name and town to 081 200 6659. One Africa TV. It just gets better.
Beautiful souls, this is Nikita Winkler and I am here to share easy tools for stretching that you can do just about anywhere. This is a demonstration, so what's most important is that you take the time in each position that your body needs to release its tension. In this session, we will stretch the hips. What you'll need are yoga blocks or books, thick books, or pillows, especially if you have tight hips. You can do this on a mat, on the floor, on a blanket, or even in your bed. Let's get started. So we're going to start on the floor with the soles of our feet together. I'm going to grab around the feet. This is a butterfly position. So in order to warm up the hips, I'm just going to flap the butterfly wings. And again, take your time. I'm going to lean forward, and here, again, if the hips are too tight, you can place your blocks, books, or pillows underneath. You might even feel a stretch in the back here. From this position, I'm going to take one arm right behind me, not too far from my body. The other arm, inhale, exhale, press the hip open. And come back to center. Change. One arm right behind me to lengthen the spine, the other hand on the knee. Inhale, exhale, press the hip open and back to center. Now we're going to lie down on the floor. And first, before I get started, I have to make sure that my body, my spine is in alignment. I'm going to just open up the neck area. And you can spend as much time as you need here, allowing the force of gravity to weigh on the legs to open up the hips. You can place your blocks, books, or pillows underneath the knees. And gradually you can take the feet even further down and spend enough time in each position. From here, we're going to go into an internal hip rotation. I'm going to spread my feet to the side, lean the knees inwards. If you have a little bit more flexibility, you don't really feel the stretch, just take your feet even further apart to deepen this internal rotation stretch in your hips. From here, I'm just going to place my feet, and without repositioning the feet, I'm going to take my arms to the side, and then I'm just going to rock my legs side to side, keeping the upper body facing up, shoulders down. And then I'm going to stop on one side, take the lower leg over the upper to add weight to deepen the stretch. Release the leg and switch. Other side, lower over the upper. And back to center. Last part, I'm going to spread my legs as wide open as I can, and I'm going to just row the boat. So what's important here is that the knees don't lift off the floor. Make sure you row both sides. Keep the knees and both bum cheeks on the floor. Alternatively, you can just lean forward. You can hang out on the pillow. Take your time on the blocks or on your books. And that is it. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to breathe into your stretches, and happy stretching.
What's up, world? This is Shay, the goddess of the airwaves, on 99 FM, Monday to Friday, serving you breakfast on the ignition between 6 and 9. We brought you to be inspired, taking you to master your destiny. Now it's time to do the work.
Just show up. Put on your work boots and do the time.
Make it, and then make it better.
Hello world, it's your boy Script here on The Kingdom, where we're reminding you every single day.
Get up. You've got this. Start where you are.
Hey, this is your girl Treza on Hitspo on 99 FM, letting you know it's okay.
Try.
Make mistakes.
Awesome.
I am Sibo, and I'm going to be with you for quite a while. Thank you so much for joining us here on your inspiration station, where we let you know
there's no easy money, there's no easy job, there's no easy life.
99 FM. Do the work.
On the Gold Coast of West Africa lies the peaceful and diverse nation of Ghana. I'm pretty close right now to the geographical center of the Earth. It is also one of the last pockets for elephants in the wilds of West Africa.
Every country in the world just about has cattle, sheep, goats, horses, donkeys, but it's only Africa that has the real megafauna, the charismatic stuff which people in the rest of the world want to see.
The passion that the staff have for the job.
There's value to a bird which brings birders to a place like this. I mean, this is a birding paradise. We see an intrinsic appreciation and joy from seeing the wildlife out here, but not everybody does.
You can't get to Moli and then will not be passionate about what we do, because you'll be the only one left. Everybody is passionate.
The only worthwhile war, the war against destruction, the war against loss, the war for peace, for balance, for inclusion.
It is out of my way. Buffaloes, elephants, tigers, are still in existence.
If Mole fails, then Ghana is without wildlife.
Join me as we journey to the untamed wilderness of northern Ghana to meet these last defenders.
The people within the law enforcement agencies don't really know you're talking about a roan antelope. Somebody thinks it's just like a goat.